Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. It's September 10th, 2013. I'm Logan Burgess. Joining me to my right here is Brock Shimbano to help break down the action that we saw here on a Tuesday in the grain market, just 2 days before the September WASDE report. Let's jump into fire tip and see where the grains closed. It was a relatively quiet day here for the grain market. As you can see, new crop corn up just 5.5 cents. New crop beans really unchanged on the day here, and it was a very quiet day in wheat as well. Really seems like traders are still firmly focused on expectations and getting positioned for Thursday's report. Yesterday we talked about the production side of things a little bit. Today we want to go in depth into ending stocks. Brock, can you kind of break down what the market's looking for on Thursday?
You know, we did yesterday. We did talk about the production side. We were expecting a little bit of a reduction for corn yields, a little bit bigger reduction for soybean yields,
right.
And I think that's ultimately going to end up flowing into the ending stocks. So if we take a look at the ending stocks estimates here, this is the average of the analyst guess pulled by Reuters. You can see not big revisions are expected for the old crop 12-13 crop. Most of that information is already in the market. Where we're going to see some revisions is in the new crop. If you take a look at corn for 13-14, the average of the analyst guess in that left-hand column there is for about 105 million bushel reduction to the ending stocks. Most of that's going to come from production reductions we saw on the production side of things, but that'll be a number we'll have to keep in mind is that 1.732 billion bushels are expected for ending stocks. For soybeans, I think this is really going to be the highlight in Thursday's report. We're looking at a reduction of about 55 million bushels from the August report the USDA gave us. So that's a pretty substantial percentage-wise reduction, again, for the ending stocks for soybeans.
Yeah, you know, we saw the USDA slash projected ending stocks pretty sizably in the August report. We saw them lower at 75 million bushels there. And certainly now you add another 55 million bushel revision lower onto that in the September numbers. I think that would continue to support prices. Even if we can get an ending stock number around that 165, which is the average of trade guesses, I would think that that would support the trade on Thursday. But with that being said, you know, the situation right now is kind of shaping up in many ways like I think it was last year. You know, we saw this bean market really rally as yields got slashed, but the market did peak out around September. And I don't know if we're going to get the bullish sentiment in this market September into October as we've had in this market over the last month. So I think, you know, especially if we're able to get a good pop on Thursday for the new crop bean prices, might be a time to take a look at selling some beans, taking some of that risk off the table.
You know, I think heading into that report, you definitely want to protect the downside, maybe do some sort of put strategy. That way you leave the top end open, but after, like you said, if we do get that rally, get a little bit of a pop in the market, look to price in the cash market and sell right off the combine. I don't think there's really going to be a carry in this market to hold on to those beans through the winter at this time.
Yeah, certainly. We'll help keep you posted on that in terms of cash market movers. But, you know, Brock, in general, certainly here on Thursday, the USDA is going to have to reconcile a lot of weather that this market has endured over the last month. If we just look at since that August WASDE report, we've seen good to excellent ratings on corn down 10%, good to excellent ratings on soybeans down 12%. That's certainly been reflected in price action here, but I guess looking forward in terms of the moisture that we see now and the outlook, is there any relief in sight?
You know, if we take a look at these maps provided by Planalytics and the change of the crop moisture from last week to this week, you can see we got much drier once again across the Midwest. Temperatures remain hot. Very little precipitation has hit the Midwest over the last week or so. And if you take a look at the subsoil moisture, we're not going to get any relief there as well. Some of the subsoil moisture and moisture content across the Midwest, particularly in Iowa and Illinois, we're looking at in the 30 percentiles for soil moisture capacity in Iowa. Over in Illinois in the 40th percentile. So not a whole lot is really going to save this crop at this time, and might be even if we get some precipitation a little bit too late, especially for that soybean crop that's in late stages of development. And if we take a look at the temperatures over the next 8 to 14 days as well, looks like we have a very high percentage chance that the average temperatures are going to be above normal for this time of year across much of the Midwest. So looks like this crop is going to finish out in a hot and dry pattern for the most part.
Right, certainly. We'll help keep you posted on expectations for the weather changes here moving forward. But really, you know, like I said, Brock, I think a lot of the bullish sentiment that we've seen in this market has largely been factored in. Certainly now it all comes down to what the USDA finds in their surveys and how that relates to U.S. ending stocks. We'll get more information on that on Thursday, and we'll help you keep informed about any private analyst expectations leading up to that. In general, though, that's kind of what we saw here on a Tuesday for GrainTV. Join us tomorrow. We'll break down the EIA ethanol numbers and just wrap up all the expectations for Thursday's report. Thanks a lot. We'll see you then.